Hello, party people. It's Monday. Ooh, ooh. Y'all, I don't know how you start your Mondays, but my Monday has been going pretty well. So I hope that the energy in which you are holding when you are watching this, if it's low, if it's slow, if it's just easing into the day, I hope this conversation is a boost to your energetic treasure box. Okay. Um, I am just gonna double check and make sure I am where I'm supposed to be. Ooh. Hold on, hold on. There we go. Can't be listening to myself and talking at the same time. That's not gonna work out. I am a little bit early, and I think that you can tell my excitement because I am a little bit early. But I just want to make sure that I can hear or I can watch the comment section on LinkedIn and YouTube because we are going live to both. Okay. We have the tools to do so. So we are going to do so. And I'm so thankful for that. Good morning, everyone. Ah, ha, ha. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Abriana. I am the principal consultant at Black Unicorn Creative. And in my work, I help seasoned founders find alignment within their business. One of the core beliefs of Black Unicorn Creative is that in order to make our value visible, we have to make our values visible. So, this is how we go from brand strategy to culture and operations and aligning all of those things in order to close the gap between what we promise and what we can actually deliver. And so, this month of August, we're doing what is called an alignment challenge. If you want to join, my goodness, if you want to join, you can at blackunicorncreative.com/August. And I will send you the prompts for this week. But the theme for this week is operations. It is the what are we doing? What are we doing? Last week we talked about identity. That is what is the business? Who is the business? Who are we there to serve? Who is involved in it? And how do we identify ourselves in the market? So there were 7 days of prompts and actions. It is not enough to just reflect on where you are. We need to also take one action a day. Yes, a day to get more clear on that, right? This is not a journaling challenge. This is a alignment challenge. So, we're going to think about something and then we're going to do something. And all of that takes shouldn't be no more than 10 minutes a day because I know you don't have a whole bunch of time for everything else because you have a life to live, you have a business to run. But this is an opportunity to take 10 minutes to reflect and make a move that will offer you more clarity within your organization. So, I built this challenge because I have been experiencing clients and people that I've just been talking to while networking who have been in business for a decade and they have had one of three changes happen for them. Number one, they have grown beyond their wildest dreams. When they first started their organization, they did not realize this was where they are now was even possible. And so now they're just trying to keep up and they're just trying to sustain what they've already been able to accomplish. But they're not moving in a strategic direction because they are in the day to day. They're just trying to get the work done. That's number one. Number two, something about the market has shifted. What they've been doing for a long time, and they're so comfortable at it and good at it, what they've been doing is not working anymore. Something about their clients or their industry has shifted, and they're trying to figure out how to shift with it. And then lastly, their what we call like a founder's intent, their personal desires as the founders or leaders of their business has shifted. Life has happened. They are getting older. They are wanting to do something new, but are bogged down by the day to day, that they don't have the capacity to lead the change. Those are the three big, like, challenges that my clients have been experiencing lately. And so I built this alignment challenge to help us get more clarity on the where we are now and where we are going or where we want to be. Um, it's not about perfection. It is not about finding the perfect answer to this very specific, perfect problem. And by the end of this, everything is going to be solved. No, this is about I've been in the work so long, I haven't been able to telescope up and observe the work and think critically about the direction that our work is going. So that's what this alignment challenge is about. Now, this week's theme is operations, like I said before. One of the things that I have found with my clients is that they have they have a way of working. And for a long time, their way of working has been okay. If your way of working has worked for you for a long time and now all of a sudden you're finding that things just aren't working like they used to, this is an opportunity for you to take a step back and say, well, what have I been doing? What have we been doing? What has my team been doing? And have I opened the door for a shift in that process? One of the conversations that I have often is, oh, we need to build a system to do XYZ. We need to add these tools. We need to have SOPs, and a lot of that language really gets conflated because the function of operations is to turn the strategy you've developed into action. And when we go back to that brand identity and the identity of the business and deciding what the strategy is going to be, the operations is supposed to put that into action and close that gap, bridge that gap. That includes things like building out systems, and our businesses have several systems. Like marketing is a system, client delivery is a system, hiring is a system. It's a collection of processes, people, resources, actions, feedback, data. There's so many things involved in a singular system within a business. And so when we conflate, oh, I have my CRM and that's my client system, we don't understand the actual journey. We don't understand the process involved in getting that client from point A to point B if it's outside of that system. I am a firm believer that every process within a business can be done manually. We look back, business has been run for millennia, right? And they didn't have any of the tools that we have today. There is a manual process for everything. The way that we get ahead is by using these tools that are available to us that we are purchasing to make that process easier, right? But if we don't know what the process is, we're not going to know how to leverage that tool to the best of our ability. And if we don't know what the tool is capable of, we're not able to improve our process because of that tool's capability or in alignment with that tool's capability. So it's very much, I won't even say chicken and egg. It's like cart and horse, right? You have to understand what we're going to do, what you need the tool to do for you. And then you can improve upon that need based on the features of the tools. So one of the things that I have been doing, and this is kind of how I've been reflecting on this week, is stripping all of my processes bare. What am I doing to acquire clients? What am I doing to deliver to the clients that I have coming through the pipeline? What am I doing to retain them? What am I doing to make it known what I do and how I like to work? Stripping all of that bare and then saying, okay, what tool is going to help me do this faster or better? And making sure that I'm not paying for tools with similar capabilities when I don't need to, right? If I'm double paying for tools with similar capabilities, that is not efficiency to me. That is not how my business grows. And there's two ways to grow a business: increase revenue, decrease expenses, right? I want to make sure that as my revenue increases, my expenses aren't increasing because of duplication. Remember, if you don't remember anything else, it is not about adding more, it is about aligning better. And so making sure that the tools that I'm using align with where I'm going, that is part of this challenge. And then I also realized as I was doing this is that this level of reflection, if you take a look at the prompts for week 2, really requires a level of self-awareness that a lot of people are not willing to dive deep into. And for the longest time, I was like, no, it's me. Like, I am what they're coming for, I'm the draw to the business. It's me. I'm selling my thoughts and my brain, and that is not true. And the ego death that was required for me to understand that was spicy. It was spicy, okay? What I had to understand is that what you sell is a transformation. What you sell is a understanding of the before state or the current state, and a deep understanding of how to get to that future state. Where are you wanting to go? Where does your client want to go? Right? How can you get them there? And how are you the best option to get them there? And so that level of self-awareness actually surfaced again for me this week, because I am being really, not that I'm auditing my time, but I'm being really conscious of how I'm spending my time, because I have goals that I want to hit, and because I have, I got big dreams, baby. I got big dreams. So one of the things that I noticed about myself is that switching from activity to activity, switching from things on my to-do list, it was starting to be a little bit more complex. Like the actual transition time was long. And I realized that not only I realized that that was a problem for me, But then I came across some content this past week that really outlined that there is a difference between tasks that allow you or that require you to research, tasks that require you to write, to then design, to then produce or hit publish or optimize or edit. Those are different tasks. They require different parts of the brain. And so, me trying to do a task from start to finish, from research and writing and editing and designing, trying to do all of that in a single day just to complete the task, it took an entire day to do the task because the transitioning from those parts of the brain that allow me to do all of those things, which I very much am capable of, it took a long time. And that is a way of me becoming more self aware on what the heck it is that how I operate, and how my business is going to have to be designed so that I can operate better. And when I bring in additional team members, they understand how I operate. I can help them understand how I operate by getting that self awareness myself, or leaning into it anyway. So now I'm exploring, I'm experimenting. What does it look like to do all of the research that I need in one sitting? Doing all of the writing in one sitting, doing all the editing, doing all the outreach, doing all the client communication, doing all the delivery. What does it look like to organize the way that I work in those ways based on the cognitive load that it requires for each one of those different types of tasks? That might be something that you are reflecting on in this week, because operations is what we are looking at. And if you are a founder with a small team that is trying to get everybody on board, trying to get everybody on the same page, or you hired someone to get everyone on the same page, but they are not sure how you work or how your business should be designed based on how you have been working or where you want to go in the future, that's one of those things that you got to take a look at. So, for example, today is the 9th. Today's prompt is, if you hired someone tomorrow, what would be the hardest to teach? What would be the hardest thing for you to teach them? That's the reflection. And then, if you have a process that you repeat daily, weekly, monthly, write it down. Write it down. There are so many tools that we can use now to capture the processes within the business, but if we don't understand the systems that influence those processes, the process might not be as helpful as we think. At the end of the day, it is kind of difficult to understand how your business should operate if you don't know where you're going. If you don't have a general idea of what the world is supposed to look like when your work is complete, then you're not going to know how to guide your team in the direction that they need to go to make that happen, and do it in the way that is unique to your business. One of the things that I have been working with a client on is measuring. How do we measure growth if we don't know what we're doing daily? How do we measure input versus output if we don't know what input is happening daily? What do we measure? Dashboards are great. Where are we going? Data can tell all kinds of stories. It needs to tell the story that outlines where you're going, not where you just currently are. And one of the things that I have found in working with my clients lately is that you brilliant founders, sometimes you don't understand how important it is to document or share an approach that you're taking to something, because it's been easy for you, because it's been something you've been doing for a long time. And just because it is something you've done forever and it comes naturally to you, or your blinders are on and you are so focused that you don't even realize what else is going on around you, that does not mean that there are not things that you need to write down and you need to articulate to your teams to allow them to support you better and allow them to support the business in the way that meets your expectations. I promise you that will quell a lot of frustration. Reflecting on how the business operates this week is going to be an exercise that stretches your brain. So I do hope that you are keeping track of your daily reflections. And at the end of this challenge, it'll be something that you can look back on and say, wait a minute, I can see how the structure of my business or my thoughts about it have evolved now that I'm actually spending some time pulling up those things that have been so focused that I hadn't even paid attention to. So I hope that this check-in this morning has offered you some energy in the alignment challenge this week. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, drop me a DM, or comment below. Some emoji, I don't know. You can choose whatever emoji you want. And the emoji you choose likely reflects where you are in your business right now. Isn't that what they say for horoscopes and stuff? I don't know. Anyway, I will be back. I actually have something coming up next Monday, so I think I'll do the check-in on Tuesday. We'll worry about that later. But yeah, welcome back to the Alignment August Challenge. If you are behind on your prompts, don't worry about it. Take a look at them, jot down some notes. You don't have to write in complete sentences, but the important part of the challenge is those actions. How are you acting on what you have noticed as you are reflecting on where you are and where you want to be? I will see you next week. Have a fantastic week.